No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Right now, the WNBA is poised to blow up like a powder keg. Additionally, if the most recent if the rumors circulating within the league's inner circles are accurate, we may have to postpone games and possibly destroy the most lucrative season in women's basketball history. We are discussing the nuclear. A player strike as an option. Whispers have turned into shouts behind the scenes, as leaked audio and private conversations purportedly expose an increasing number of WNBA veterans who are threatening to quit if the Caitlin Clark circus doesn't instantly change. These days, it's more than just rivalry and jealousy. Players believe the league is fostering a hostile work environment, and this has turned into a full-fledged labor crisis. Workplace by putting one novice ahead of the security, well-being, creativity, and legacy of the women who created the past 28 years in this sport. Growing pains is the narrative that the media is promoting. However, the truth. These insiders claim that there is a revolt in the locker room. The claims imply that players are dissatisfied with what they believe as overt partiality, risky fan conduct, and a media apparatus that demonizes black women in order to support a white story of the savior. If these athletes decide to go on strike or boycott Caitlin Clark's games, it would be the total collapse of the WWNE, not just a news story. ES public perception, which is why the league office is allegedly in a state of panic, attempting to contain a mutiny that has already spread to the court. Therefore, to comprehend how professional athletes are purportedly willing to forfeit their paychecks you must remove the layers of animosity that have been present in order to make a point against a 22-year-old rookie, calcifying ever since Caitlin Clark announced her intention to enter the draft. There was no hard foul at the beginning. It began with the perception that the league was prepared to completely change who it was in order to make quick money. When audio clips and screenshots started to circulate in private, the rumor mill went into overdrive. Forums, purportedly displaying players complaining about the unfair treatment of travel and security. WNBA greats like Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and Aya Wilson have been squeezing for more than 10 years. On commercial flights, enduring cramped quarters, delays, and demanding travel schedules. Most athletes would be broken by that. Citing health and safety concerns, they battled for charter flights for years, only to be informed by the league that it was not financially feasible. Then Caitlin Clark shows up. Abruptly. The league miraculously finds the funds to implement a charter despite the security risks connected to her enormous fame. Program for flight. Although this appears to benefit everyone, the sentiment that has been leaked from the locker rooms is one of rage. According to the veterans, the league didn't give a damn about their safety until a white superstar was in danger. The well has been poisoned by this narrative of privilege. Conveyed the idea that the locker rooms are inferior. They are merely supporting characters on the reality show Caitlin Clark, citizens in their own league. This serves as the basis for the strike threat, the notion that the league is now a manipulated marketing machine rather than a meritocracy for a single individual. However, the financial aspect is where the knife twists the narrative, so that wasn't the whole story. Deepest, understand the rage, though, you have to look at the numbers. Caitlin Clark signed an alleged $28 million contract with Nike, an enormous sum in comparison to the salaries of even the most decorated WNBA champions. Although the players are aware that Nike and the WNBA are two different companies, the appearance of Clark entering. Many were offended by the league's signature shoe deal before they had played a single professional minute. Particularly when a player like Aya Wilson, a two-time champion, two-time MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year, had to wait years for her to be paid. According to the rumors, this wealth disparity has produced an impassable split. When you have players grinding for overseas contracts in Turkey or Russia during the off-season, seeing a novice given the kingdom's keys just to pay their mortgages breeds a level of resentment that no amount of PR instruction can be concealed. According to the purported conversations, players feel disrespected by more than just the money, but by the lack of acknowledgement for who actually carries the league on the court. They want to know, in order to make a rookie look good, why should we strain our bodies setting screens and diving for loose balls when the world only is concerned about her? The physical targeting was the spark that almost started the fire, but this financial jealousy is the fuel that the media has been fixated on. The Kennedy Carter incident was witnessed by all. It was the hip check that everyone heard. The entire world. Say, when Carter knocked Clark to the ground and reportedly called her BH, the sports world exploded. However, what the leaked rumors make clear and what the mainstream media overlooked is that this wasn't an isolated incident. Incident of rage, it was purportedly a message from the league's enforcers. There is conjecture that the veterans have implicitly agreed that rookie hazing should be intensified for Clark in order to humble her and her fans as well as to test her base. However, the strike talks are said to have been sparked by the reaction to that foul. Carter's demonization by National. The other players reportedly rallied after being called a thug by the media and subjected to thousands of offensive remarks online, all around her. Additionally, they believed that the league did nothing to shield Carter from the racist mistreatment she endured. From the new fans of Clark and the strike theory, this is an important point. According to the players, the WNBA is pleased to accept the money from these new admirers, but they don't denounce the poison they bring. According to reports, the players are saying, "Keep us safe from the mob if you want us to play." Every time they play defense against Clark, they believe that, because of the impending descent of the Caitlyn cult, they are endangering both their reputation and mental well-being. With vitriol on them, the players now feel as though they are at war because of this us versus them mentality, not only with a rival team but also with the fan base. And everyone would be shocked by what transpired next, because there was no turning back after the media war intensified the situation. Caitlyn Clark is being called by famous people like Pat McAfee. A white BH on live television was intended as a compliment, but the rest of the league took it as a huge insult. And Stephen A. Smith's persistent criticism of the WNBA players for their jealousy. According to reports, this media narrative has forced the players into a corner. They believe that they are the bad guys regardless of what they do if they prevail. They are intimidators. They are washed up if they lose. According to the leaked rumors, the strike threat is a means of take back control from the media. The reasoning is that you believe Caitlyn Clark is the only important factor. It's alright. Let's watch you broadcast a game in which there are 5 roster openings on the opposing team. It's a chicken game. The players are aware that the top-tier competition they offer is essential to the WNBA product. Clark is a gunman. But she needs someone to pass to, someone to screen for her, and someone to defend if the combined skill of the Caitlyn Clark show turns into a solo practice session, the WNBA chooses to abstain, and the league loses credibility. This is the power they possess, and if the disrespect persists, they are purportedly prepared to use it. You cannot tell this, so we also need to discuss the racial dynamics that are stoking this fire. Tail without them. Black women who have led the way in social justice have dominated the WNBA movements for many years. Their seasons were devoted to Breonna Taylor. For Brittany Griner, they battled. They now witness a fan base that they consider to be antagonistic to their very existence entering the arena. The purportedly leaked conversations accentuate a profound feeling of betrayal that the league is changing course to appeal to a population that doesn't honor the WNBA's culture. In many respects, the threat of a strike is a call for cultural respect. Athletes such as Angel Reese have become lightning rods in this conflict between cultures. Reese is frequently portrayed as the antagonist despite his outstanding performance as a rookie. To the hero of Clark, the players see this dichotomy, and they reject it. They witness Reese being fined for not speaking to the media following a defeat in which she was clearly upset, while Clark receives gloves for children. The rumored group chats frequently discuss this double standard. They believe that the officiating is biased. The league's marketing is one-sided, and the media coverage is biased. Threatening to strike is a method of to express that we are aware of what you are doing and will not take part in our own erasure. However, the final power move and the Olympic roster snub was the moment that demonstrated the veterans' continued power. When the committee for selection departed. When Caitlyn Clark was left off of Team USA's Olympic roster for Paris, the sports world was rocked. Supporters were furious and said it was a lost marketing chance. However, there are rumors within the league that this was a planned. Veterans made the decision. The senior players are thought to have made it clear that if she shows up, it ruins the chemistry. It was said that they opposed the circus in Paris. They weren't interested in every practice to focus on Caitlyn. They didn't want Caitlyn to be the focus of the bus rides. They demonstrated that merit and tenure by keeping her off the team. still have greater significance than hyped, and in a sense, it was a soft strike, a refusal to allow the marketing apparatus to infiltrate the most sacred. The Olympic team is the haven of women's basketball, but the veterans' victory only made the hostility worse. From the Clark supporters, which has caused the players to become even more defensive and more likely to take extreme actions like the purported league-wide walkout. Every interaction is tense. When Clark is knocked, you can see it down, and nobody comes to her aid, though it's visible in the bench-side eyes. You hear it in the media after the game. Conferences where athletes won't bring her up. The rumors about the leaked audio are merely an expression of reality that takes place every night in 4K resolution. The league is attempting to treat a wound that needs to be operated on. They are attempting to concentrate on the basketball while also fining players and making statements. However, there is no denying the human component. These women are fierce competitors who have devoted their lives to a sport that disregarded them for many years. And now that the spotlight has finally arrived, it is shining on someone else. The psychological consequences of that